See, you got more PS4 games than me, man. I don't even. Fuck.
Some of those are movies. I got a few more. Just got the exclusives. Oh shit, we're live. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear us live, let us know in the background. Hey, you can hear us? Yeah. We're gonna do the actual show.
Damn, you got your fat PlayStation 3 back there too. Damn.
Yeah, I got every goddamn thing, man.
That's pretty cool. Nice little setup you got there, bro.
Yeah, we're working. We're good. We're cooking with grease. We're good. We're cooking.
Nice.
All right. This one works. All right. Now I'm gonna send this week. No, as you were saying, crap. Yeah. What did you say now, crap?
About Playground Games.
Yes.
Okay, Playground Games, the Forza Horizon developers, they opened up a brand new studio where they're going to be making a brand new IP. They're still making the Horizon series because that's basically, they said that's their bread and butter. So it's easy to kind of input that's the reason why they're able to open this other studio is because the Horizon series has been so successful for them. Mm-hmm. And but we don't know if it's going to be exclusive or not. But with how they've been a second-party developer for Microsoft exclusively so far, I don't see why that would change. And you would assume that maybe that would continue to be the deal. And I think that that's really cool. That, they're going to be able to do both. A new IP, they've hired a bunch of new people, and it's not going to be racing at all. Supposedly, it's supposed to be some kind of open world game. So
that's what I would picture them open world, just for the fact that
now, one thing I know, X, but hold on 1 second. I just wanted to say this. Open world, like it doesn't but imagine if it does have cars involved, and it wasn't exclusive, and they could use the Forza handling and the Forza cars. Like that would be fucking phenomenal. You could get like imagine something like GTA or something, but with Forza cars and handling. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal.
That'd be awesome. But I like I said, they are a very talented team. I wish Microsoft would open the checkbook up and acquire them, and and even Remedy. If they could, like that's like I said, we use something that you mentioned before in the past. That when it comes to their first party studios, and they're not as strong. They have to depend on the Platinum Games or whoever.
Yeah, I mean they have five really strong first party studios. But I think that you probably need at least 8.
Well, I'm just saying we need more than when I was saying. You have to go back to the Halo Gears and Forza.
If you look at what's funny is if you look at Sony's first party studios, right? A lot of people will be like, they got so many, and they'll list off and they'll show the list. It's on Wikipedia, and I don't know how many is there. I think it's like 14 or 15 or something. Mm-hmm. There's only about like 6 or 7 that are any good. So I think that it's the same thing with Microsoft. Like they had before the start of this generation, according to Wikipedia, they had something like 18 first-party studios, but none of them did. Hardly any of them did any fucking thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like big park.
Even if they don't add more, maybe if they can add to their studios, the existing studios, and make them bigger, so they can make like you have 343. They can do something, another team besides Halo or the Coalition.
Well, 343. Yeah, you don't name it 343. Then you just fucking make a new studio. 343 is just going to do Halo. I mean, that's their thing. But
you don't think that's dangerous though? Like just do Halo.
No.
Hey guys, just to throw it in there, 343. If you don't know, 343 Guilty Spark is actually a character in Halo.
Yeah, that's why they're basically a Halo cover band, man.
Yeah,
I mean that's what they do. And same thing with Coalition, they do gear. So why not, instead of spreading them thin and just being Coalition B or 343B, just do a fucking new studio.
I mean,
just
what I'm saying about this, but what is something?
Let
me word it different. Maybe you look at Naughty Dog, right? What does Naughty Dog have? They
split 2 studios, yes, but
okay, Uncharted, and they also have now The Last of Us is probably argue is probably more popular than Uncharted. You know what I mean? Because the whole whatever, but like something like that. I will, and to me that makes the studio looks better. You know what I mean? Because you're not considered a one-trick pony.
Well, they've made multiple IPs in the past, so they're not a one-trick pony. But again, none of their games are on the level that Halo is. That's Microsoft's bread and butter.
Okay, so I don't think there would never be another Halo, or it would never be another Mario. But again, I'm just saying. But to have something like prime example, if things could have been worked out and they could have and made let's go Bungie happy, right? And let Bungie, because Bungie wanted to do other things besides Halo. And you can imagine the big. Now, listen, I didn't see it back then, but we all can agree that Destiny was a huge game for Bungie. Could you imagine, if they'd had Halo, Bungie and fucking Destiny. You know, that would be
Yeah, I
fucking
mean,
huge.
if you look at it though, they canceled an MMO style Halo game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's weird because
your boy Don Matrick.
Yeah, I think they had it would have been too similar to Halo. That's probably why they didn't do it. You know, if you look at what Sony did, they canceled a game that was similar to Destiny, and laid off half the employees at Sony Santa Monica. That's this generation. You know, like they laid off half the workforce and canceled the game. I mean, and they opted to go for a third-party partnership instead of having an exclusive, unique game. They went for that, and now the whole Destiny thing's turned out to be a big fuck up anyway. Because look, Bungie, they wanted to be out on their own, right? Away from Microsoft. So what do? They sign a fucking 10-year deal with Activision. Guess what? Yeah. If they don't come out with Destiny 2 this year, Activision gets a shit ton of their shares.
With 67%.
Yeah, they get a shit ton of. They basically would own Bungie, and they'd be stuck there forever. I mean, imagine being stuck there with Activision. So basically, Destiny 2 locking in is coming out this year. What state it'll be in? Who fucking knows?
Well, I've heard it's going to be an open world. It's going to be more open world, like we were all thinking it was going to be when they first launched the game. I heard that sometime last year. You know, I don't know if that, I read it in an article, but there's all these articles.
Well, let me ask you this, K-Mega. Here's the thing. I'm not a huge Destiny guy. I mean, I played it, but I know a lot of people that have spent like hundreds of hours on this game, and apparently your characters, nothing is transferable to this new one. Now, the original idea behind Destiny, wasn't it to have a 10-year game or a 10-year lifespan or something like that?
Yeah, it was supposed to be it was going to be this long series that was going to be intertwined to be like a 10-year series. And I think it was basically Activision was trying to have their own version of Halo, but just do it differently.
Supported with DLC and stuff?
Yeah, and just keep supporting it with
expansion
DLC.
Packs and shit, yeah.
Right, but when they had such a bad since it had such bad press about how they did the first one, and so many people left it, it took them a while to get people to come back to play like the Taken King and all the rest, just like for me. And so now I think they had to like rechange it and go back to the roots of where they were going to make it a true open world game. And if that's the case, then I'll definitely jump on it, thoroughly then, because that's what my whole thought of it was that was going to be this open world. And when we played that demo, that's all it was going to be. That's what we thought, just a little small sample piece. And then when you played the game and it was like, whoa, this is the same shit. What is going on? So, I'll definitely give it a chance, but they do not want to stay under Activision's leash for too long because, Activision.
What they have every 2 years, they have to release a new game?
Pretty much.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Although it was supposed to release last year, wasn't it? And it didn't.
When did the first one come out? What year? 14, right?
Yeah. So it was supposed to come out last year, and they delayed it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, on the subject of We Are Playground, they're gonna still make Forza Horizon. They talked to GameIndustry.biz, and Ralph Fulton said that is still the cornerstone franchise.
That's the one that enabled them to do another studio to begin with.
Right.
I mean, you don't want to just
you
have to do something to pay your bills. So.
Well, that I look on you look at Wikipedia of them or whatever. I found that they have a 115 person team. They use the assets of Turn 10 and Forza. They use they work with Microsoft. That's proprietary tech that Microsoft owns that they use. Looking at this logically, I don't see them being able to expand and funding themselves on a new IP that they own unless they get some kind of support. Now, there is a rumor out there, and it's by our favorite people at NeoGAF, but whatever. It is a rumor that it's a Witcher 3 style game, and it's a single player, it's an open world, and that it's going to be multiplat. But I look at the situation and I say, well, they're probably going to be working on Forza Horizon 4. Okay, so we know that they're going to be working on that, and they will have. Most likely, they will have Turn 10 probably. I think that they work they work together and assist them. Now, if you're talking about a generally small team, if you know they're actually hiring some people, they're going to hire out of it. This is going to cost money. Now, I think in the perfect sense that if Microsoft, it's in need of exclusive content. They know they have a partner here that they can trust. It's not like Platinum where they're in Japan and they're doing whatever the fuck they want and they have no idea, no oversight of what's going on. They have a really good working relationship. Phil goes out there. Are you saying they're not going to waste the money for this new game that Microsoft invests on finishing up a bunch of other games for other people? Hey, well, when you don't have a good relationship or you don't have an oversight relationship, those things possibly could happen, and generally do. I mean, you look at that situation. One game's way off, and the other game is right on time. So you can make those inferences and stuff like that. But in regards to this, I just feel like if they're gonna go, they're gonna be funded by Microsoft, and this is gonna be a game that that's going to be in the Microsoft. It's going to be in their stable of games. I don't see the stream is fucking up for people now too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's like telling me to tap it to retry.
Yeah, I see. Mine's flowing beautifully. I'm seeing everything, man. The hyena with the lion in its mouth.
Try refreshing, seeing if you can still see it.
Now I'm looking at it. I was looking at it on my phone, and then I was looking at it, and now I'm looking at it on my PC.
Can you hear us?
It's going fine.
Can you hear us
on the PC?
Huh. Well, I'm like checking on my PC. It looks like it's loading and loading, but somebody just tweeted me and said the stream's not working for them. So
this sucks.
Yeah, I think. Oh, okay. Now I can hear us. Yeah, now I see it.
Well, let's just, if it screws up again, we'll take it from there. But my point is that I don't see them being able to fund their own IP, because if they're going to go out on themselves, their own, they're gonna have to fund everything. And I don't see Sony really coming in and saying, hey, well, if they're going to fund them, they're going to make it exclusive. So I just feel that in the situation, looking at the situation that they originally formed in the whole idea of making Forza Horizon. They originally formed in 2010, and that's all that they've done. So all they know is Microsoft. Now, could you say that they've accrued enough money and now that they're ready to go on? Yeah, they probably could. It's just that when you're talking about making a game, you're talking about now you have to hire the people in addition to making the game. You're talking about millions upon millions of dollars, where you have somebody there where they both need each other is my point. Okay. And I just feel that I'm going to say it's going to be an exclusive title. Could it be multiplat? Okay. Sure, but if Microsoft's losing out on that and they're not creating studios or buying studios, and they're not doing that type of stuff, then it really raises questions again about what are they doing here. But I feel that they could make a big splash, maybe this E3 or next E3, and that could be one of the games that we all want, a new IP or Fable, whatever it is.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Tim. Like you just said, now, just to be clear, and what's been going on for this last generation. Everything, multiplats rule. Sony fans really didn't have anything. They had Last of Us remastered, Bloodborne until Uncharted came out.
Last of Us remastered in 1080p was huge.
Yeah, okay, yeah, for them, 1080p, 60, whatever. Yeah, and they depended on the multiplats, right? So, that's not. People are gonna say that's damage control. That's just real shit.
That's the truth.
That's the truth. Okay, whether they look at it as the glass being half empty or half full doesn't make a difference. Now we know. Now, besides us being Xbox guys or whatever, and Trump supporters, it has been like this, right? We know that it hasn't been fair for Microsoft. What I mean, not for them not getting a fair shake within the media, right? So when it comes to Microsoft, it seems like they always have to go above and beyond. Now, do you think now, like I said, now we're going to have, like you said, Crap said the narrative will change. Now it's not so much about resolution of power; it's about who has the games. And then at the start of this generation, like you say, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. the Xbox brand has had more AAA exclusive than the PlayStation 4. That's just a fact. Whether you like the games or not, that's what I'm not talking about. Whether you like it, that's just the fact. Okay. So do you think Microsoft now could just sit back and say, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna do some third-party deals. Scorpio's gonna have the best version of these multiplats, and will that just be enough? And not only, like I say, because the resolution again, I don't think is a big deal, but the game should look better graphically. When I'm hearing better textures and better shaders and better lighting, do you think they still will have to do more for on their own side as far as their own content? Exclusive.
Well, I mean,
yes, I do.
Well, I mean, I get DMs and I get all this like scared, are we gonna do this, or I'm worried. One person was like, I haven't had a game in a while. I'm like, dude, you just had 3 huge AAAs that are exclusive, and you're getting you're getting another AAA in a week, but I do think that it's gonna be a bullet point. It's gonna get people to switch. There's gonna be people that go over when that first Digital Foundry comes over, and we start to see the big differences. And we could say Digital Foundry this and that. They're gonna have to report on the facts and the system.
Will they? Well, it's not that big of a deal.
They will. They might say that, but Microsoft's the Xbox is gonna trounce Pro. It is not even. You're dealing with a heavyweight versus a featherweight. It's not close. Flyweight, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that is going to be a big selling point. But how is Microsoft gonna have an E3 show in 2018? How are they going to fill their show in 2017? They're going to have to create games. How they're going to create the games? That's the big question. I personally feel it's not enough for myself.
Okay.
We could sell all the want, and they could take over the sales crown in America and UK.
Yes, okay.
But if they don't make their games, or they don't create games, and they're like a Steam machine, that's not good enough for me.
Check it out, right? And now, listen. Some may argue, and just being realistic here, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just more invested into the Xbox, ecosystem. I prefer it over PlayStation. There's nothing wrong. Everybody have their own preferences. You know what I mean? But I say that to say this, right? Do you think that's Microsoft's, weak point, Achilles heel, about them having their own talented game developers and studios? You understand what I'm saying? How should I say this? Like, I look like this, for all the money that they have, right? Big as they fucking are. You know what I mean? If you can't hire or acquire, the talent to make these different unique IP. I'm not talking about the Yakuzuzus and the Persona 5. You know what I'm talking about? Like they show the Shanghai Heights or whatever the goddamn case. Why not just buy up some fucking IPs and say, you know what, fuck you. This is what I understand. When Capcom was struggling financially, hey, we're selling off IPs, right? Made it public. We're selling off IPs, right? And Crytek's about to go belly up. My thing is, if you're gonna take gaming serious, and because gaming, just be honest with you, is worth more than the movie industry and the music industry right now. You know what I mean? Number one. So if you're going to really take this fucking serious, why not just buy it? Just fucking buy it and just be fucking done with it. You know what I mean? Just be fucking done with it. My honest opinion, I think that deal they did with Rare kind of left a bad taste in their mouth, because when they bought Rare for $350 million, they thought they owned Donkey Kong and all these different IPs, and they didn't. And I've just been like, come on, like, would you rather him bought Rare or fucking BioWare? Like, just be clear of this, you know what I mean? And I don't see them like ever doing that, buying anything else again. They just gonna play it fucking safe and just try to turn a profit.
I don't think that they're playing it safe. I don't think they're going to be playing it safe. I think that you just, saying you're being too impatient. You have to realize that the situations that's came about, it's kind of, they had to address to get the fan base back, and in order to do that, you had to make adjustments to the system, to the UI, to the whole ecosystem of the Xbox brand. So what comes next is the games, and they've had games from the very beginning. I think that we keep on forgetting about the games that they've had the best exclusive launch lineup this generation, and they've had the most memorable launch games this generation. If you really think about it,
Xbox fans.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, if Rise was on the PlayStation,
I get it.
It would be the best. It would be the best thing.
And that's vice versa. If the order was on the Xbox, I'd probably be praising if he had to cross.
No.
But what I'm saying is this, right? This is what I'm saying,
man. Come on now.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, K. Megan. When I'm saying, I understand what you're saying. There was a lot of damage done to the brand, fine. But do you know how you repair that damage? It's going out and getting the goddamn games. When Capcom say that, hey, we having a fire sale here, fuck Dead Rising. I don't want this shit anymore. Go out there and get the Street before Sony even did the deal with Street Fighter 5. I understand, Phil is not a big fan of fighter. We have our own Killer Instinct, but that's still a huge IP. Even look how great everyone's receiving this new Resident Evil. They say it's the best thing since sliced fucking bread. Could you imagine if that would have been an Xbox One exclusive, or if Microsoft got behind it, whatever the fuck they was gonna do?
But okay. I get what you're saying, but I would say just reserve patience. Just take. I mean, we don't know what's going to be coming down E3. Killer Phil has said himself that there's going to be more games that they're going to be working on that they're going to present at E3, and more than they had last year. So that's saying something. And then also there's the rumors that there's going to be more games that's going to be out, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some leaks somewhere close to E3. So I mean, just what I'm saying, give them time. Let's be patient. But I do agree that they need to get IPs. But the whole Capcom thing, I was totally with you. But I don't think that Capcom really wanted to give up their IPs, so they fought it. And Resident Evil was on the downslide at that time. Nobody was interested in Resident Evil 6. They did a resurgence. This Resident Evil 7 is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to take
they had to reboot the franchise.
Tonight.
Yeah, they had to reboot the franchise because Resident Evil 6 like some Jean-Claude Van Damme shit. I get it. You know what I mean? But with the muscle and the might and the marketing team behind some of like again, same thing with Sega. They sitting on a fucking a ton of fucking IPs, that they're not doing anything with. If Microsoft, let me go in there, boop, 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 revamp some of these goddamn franchises. I don't know. Maybe like I said, it'd
be easier to just start a couple new studios and do a couple new ones,
right?
Than buy the old ones. Because if they buy the old ones, and people are just gonna be like, "Yeah, you're just rehashing that old shit. We want new stuff." So I think that start a couple new studios, get them working on some games. Obviously, an RPG might be something.
Who made Recore? What studio made Recore?
Armature Studios.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck that is. Amateur Studios?
No.
Armature.
It was the guy that made Metroid, and then there was the guy that made Mega Man. Those two guys.
The guy that made Metroid.
The guy that made he was one of the guys that made Metroid, and the other guy made
so that was from Nostalgia Value.
Yeah, that's why the game feel like it does.
No, it's the guy that made Metroid Prime and also Dead Rising.
It's like, I don't know who the fuck is this guy, man. This guy.
Well, I think it was two guys, wasn't it? It was two guys, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was the guy who created Mega Man, and then the team who put together Metroid Prime. I think
it was the guy, the cousin of the guy that said, "Everywhere I go, people ask me about." It was his uncle. Like,
check
it was Kenji Inafune.
Okay, there you go.
He's the Mega Man. I
never heard of the studio itself, though. The actual, gaming.
Well,
studio.
It's a new studio, and actually, Joseph Staten wrote it. He wrote the Halo stories and stuff like that. So,
and I mean, that's a breath of fresh air. I mean, regardless if you like it or not, or if there's a lot of people that doesn't really like the game, it's still a breath of fresh air. It's completely something different that Xbox has not really had, for a long time, if ever. That actually felt like a Nintendo or a or a Sega game. It didn't feel like it was an Xbox game, and that's the thing that you're talking about. So, I want Playground Games to make the game, whatever game that they're making. Hopefully, it'll be exclusive. The only thing that I want Xbox to do with Phil Spencer and their team to do is to if not get Crytek, get those developers, and then in ice down Rise. Make sure Rise is the Xbox IP. That's, to me, that's fine. And then just branch out everybody, and you can make. I know you ain't gonna like me saying this, but hell, you can make all types of spinoffs of different types of Halos, and if there's people that still like Project Gotham. I don't think that game will ever come back, but they could do something kind of like on the Midnight Club tip side of maybe a Forza Street, something like that. I mean, they could do a lot of things and then bring back some of the old IPs like if a Japanese title like Atagi or Lost Odyssey, they got plenty of IPs that they can use.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
I think what had happened here is what we're dealing with is the Xbox division and Microsoft. They were building an infrastructure with and I know people are not gonna like this, but they were building an infrastructure between Windows 10 and Xbox. All right, so they were dealing with the infrastructure, the framework of all that. I also saw that Xbox at one point in time, I believe Phil Spencer came out and said that they were dealing with second party, which was kind of like that Platinum Games thing and stuff like that. Now, with what happened with Platinum Games, I think they might be rethinking that a bit, and I think they might develop a couple of their own first party studios and come out with some bangers. You know what I'm saying? But I think first it was the infrastructure, because let's be honest, they have to please Mr. Satya Nadella over there and the shareholders and stuff, and really show that there's a huge platform and a huge base to make money with these games. And if you have that platform stretching from Xbox into PC with the Windows 10 and stuff like that, and now I know it hasn't had a great start, but that's what they were planning. I think you're going to see a couple new first party studios get built up and stuff like that, because Platinum Games basically just like kind of shit on Phil Spencer and everything with Scalebound. That's what I think, man.
Yeah, I agree with the same thing. I mean, I don't look. I want them to have new IPs, but they have such a big catalog of IPs from their past that they need to try to bring those back. Not for nostalgia purposes, but for the fact that those were some good ass games back then.
Dan, Joe, you can even go. You can go down the list.
Yeah, I mean, you go all the way back to the OG Xbox, and I mean, if you wanted to look at like I know that Phil doesn't like fighters, but fighters to me is like the lifeblood of social gaming. I think with fighters is
bro casual.
See, but Phil has to, even if Phil doesn't like I hear that a lot, and even I hear myself say that, like, Phil might not like scary games and might not like Resident Evil 7, but you got to realize what's going to be profitable. Just because Phil does not like a game, he has to realize that certain things, like you say, fighting games and a certain type of genres are going to sell, or they're going to be good. It's not about making himself happy. It's about making the gamers happy. And I mean, I sometimes feel that gets lost in there. Like, I know Phil might not like he doesn't like Resident Evil 7. He's too scared to play it, like we're saying.
Scary, I'm in that same boat. I'm afraid of hitting this damn button, man. Old lady got me over here wanting to get it, and I'm like, man, I ain't played no scary games since.
A lot of people don't. Whatever. But it still sold 3 million. It still sold 3 million, and if there was a game that was available to them that was of the horror genre and that it was available, you have to look into things, not just because of your, you can't always, you have to be open-minded about things. But, listen, everyone is going, this all started when PlayStation Experience had that show, and they had a good show, and all these Xbox flip-flop fans went all crazy, and they said, we don't have games. Nothing happens, to really say that Xbox was, in trouble. Then you had the Scalebound thing, and that was just like, forget it. It was like overblown and this and that. But you have to give Microsoft, you have to give them a little bit of time to, they're not gonna announce a game tomorrow. They're not gonna announce a game in March. They're not gonna announce a game in April, because you want something. You gotta wait to E3. And I know that you always say, well, that's what the Sony guys say, and
wait to E3.
At this point you do. But I'll tell you one thing: if they don't do what we want them to do, then the true core fans will come out and they will go after them. But you have to give them a little bit of, listen, like I said, you're going to have a 2018. What are they going to do? If they're not really making games, what are they going to do? Just go to 2018 and just go with third party? Phil is open on record that he does not like third party deals. Now, maybe he should reevaluate that, because now his system is a heavyweight versus a flyweight. And, if he even gets a marketing deal. It's the truth. When you're talking about, we can go over and over. When you're talking about a system that arguably is going to be at 128, it's going to be 256 to 384 memory bus. It's going to be 320 to 218 bandwidth. You're talking about 6 to 4 teraflops. You're talking about 12 gigabits of RAM versus 9. It's a big deal. You're dealing with a heavyweight versus a flyweight. So any kind of third-party deal that he can get, that he can make a UDP, or that he can get them to develop first on Xbox to make it, or PC to make it the best that game could possibly be, and no parity shit. I see these PlayStation guys, they're dying for parity. They are dying for parity. They want Xbox. They are praying to God that it does checkerboarding. But I got news for you. Even if it does checkerboard, it's still going to be vastly better because you're dealing with a much more.
We're going to have to do this another day. The stream ain't working. Ain't nobody here.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, damn.
Yeah. Man, we can do it maybe tomorrow. Some else shit ain't working. I don't know if it's mine or what the fuck. I don't know.
This shit happens when Google decides to mess with YouTube in the background if they're trying to add stuff or take away shit.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I've seen this many times.
And we have drawn out fucking 2 topics for 40 minutes. So
yeah, we were we
had good points going, and we had the sniper ghost recon stuff, whatever.
I had a shit ton of stuff.